picture? Okay, please welcome CK, who is the owner of the Internet of Things in Singapore. And also a wonderful cook.
That's why I met my wife. So I'll try to speak aloud because I've been hosting such sessions in IoT space for a reasonably long time. So tell me if I'm too fast, because that's one of the problem I have. I speak too fast. So hold me down if I speak too fast. So while Angela's mentioned as introduction about me as an IoT Singapore tech evangelist, cooking, but I'm not going to speak about any of these things. So in the time we have about 7 minutes, I'm hopefully trying to take you my whole life as a journey from 1 year to where I'm most. And right now, well, the presentation says a few things. So the first fuck-up, if I can say, when I was like 9 months old, I don't remember, but that's what my parents said, that I was almost died. Because I had some terrible disease or something, but I survived. So that was one of the major fuck-up I had in my life. So if I take you 5 years forward in my journey, I was, I think, maybe like 7-8 years old. In the school, we started to learn about a bit of mechanics, Newton's laws of physics and everything. So I did learn about 3 laws of motion. So I was trying to experiment. And at that point of time, I was at my grandparents' home in village, and I was trying to learn about and try to experiment with all those laws of motion. So there is, in that village, we have this big mechanical machine with the saw and all those things which helps to cut the wheat. So I want to show the picture of the machine actually. So it's basically like a pulley and a bell which is driven by a motor. And I was trying to experiment that how this pulley and belt works at the time. And the pulley is driven by the wheat belt, which is very strong and has a steel wire inside. So I was trying to learn about those inertia and motion and try to experiment with the machine at that age. So unfortunately, I was pulling the pulley too fast, and then my finger went up in the pulley and the belt, and this my finger, which is out of shape right now, it completely chopped off at that age. So, but again, I clearly remember it. I could hear the crack out of my finger literally hanging down, but somehow I didn't cry. I don't know why. So I just took it, put it like this, took it to my father, and in the village, we didn't have any facility at the moment. So my father just put up a stick, tied it around, and hold it up. So I lived like this. A lot of people like to joke, okay, your finger is gone permanently, but I said, okay, fine. I kind of accepted it, okay, I'm going to lose my finger. And I started practicing, okay, let me try to practice with my left hand or some other ways. While I keep looking at my finger every time when we do the medication, it's kind of almost gone. But somehow I learned, okay, I fucked up, trying to learn the motion of Newton's laws of motion, inertia. But I immediately prepared myself, okay, fine, my finger is gone, I'm going to learn about how to use my second hand, possibly. But thankfully, it's still there, but out of shape. So that's one of the story which I learned. I tried to learn new things, fucked it up, but try to learn other things. So now move forward. Similar stories. I'm a bit of technology from a young age, if I can say. Try to learn and build my own toys. At that time, when I go out and in the market, I hardly bought the toys, but I used to look at how they work and come back and build my own. So that was used to be my school holidays time, and build my own stuff. So fast forward 5 years, around 13-14 year age, when I started learning about magnetism. And the simple rule is 2 opposite poles attract and same pole push each other, right? At the same time, I was trying to learn about the relativity, that there's a relative motion as well. So what I did during the school holidays, I picked up 2 magnets, supposedly thinking that 2 magnets, if we work together oppositely, this guy is going to push the other guy. So if I try to give you some imagination, I don't have a picture again here. So I tried to build some toy, maybe infinity motion toy kind of thing. So I put up a magnet on that wooden toy which I made, let's say in the north pole position, and then took another magnet, put it on the same toy, thinking this magnet is going to push this magnet, and since this magnet is attached to the toy, this whole toy is going to run around infinitely. But funny, I didn't understand there is a thing called relativity, that I have to put this another magnet on some other space which is going to push it. Then I started experimenting. Okay, I can't keep the same magnets on the same toy, versus I have to put the other magnet on the floor or somewhere else. That's how I learned about relativity as well. So that's why I was trying to say that I learned by fucking up some things, but I experimented it. So these are the little things which I kind of continuously learn about every time. And when I was in about 17 year of age, I was writing for one of the top entrance exam in India, which is IIT-JEE. It counts as a top institute. So I was preparing for it. I come from a humble background. We didn't go through the coaching which a lot of people could afford to go for coaching, so I prepared myself. And thankfully, I did so well in physics and mathematics that somebody gave me a scholarship to learn furthermore. But unfortunately, so that's where the things comes, that this guy is putting so much of trust on me that let him give free education for the preparation of this the big exam which we had. But somehow again, I don't know, still don't understand. And at the day of exam, I was so good at physics, but I fucked up that particular exam, and I couldn't get through to the degree, basically the rank which I wanted to get in. But I still get through. I went to the IIT, one of the campus, but I didn't get the mechanical engineering which I loved all the time. I went into electrical engineering because at that time electrical engineering supposedly used to come at the lower rank, because I got the lower rank. So fine, I tried to jump again within the 4 years to get to mechanical, but didn't get through. I accepted, okay, fine, let's go through with electrical engineering while still scoring and learning about mechanical things. So with my background, I have more mechanical mindset, but I accepted, okay, let's go through the electrical. That's what my first engineering is. You can see all the power systems and all those fancy things which I learned. Once I graduated back in 2002, I worked with a startup at that point of time to think about smart energy meters back in 2002, which we are talking right now about, connected smart meters at that time. And I have been always fascinated with the technologies like AI, neural networks, and all those robotics things. And that's the point I applied for NUS as a scholar program. I came for NUS master's program in mechatronics, robotics. And that's where I realized that the fucked up what happened, that I didn't get to the mechanical, but I get to electrical. It's to my advantage right now, because in this course I was focusing mechanical. I have an edge of understanding the electrical as well, because robotics is mix of both the two. So I kind of performed well, and I learned the bigger picture of electrical and mechanical, and built some interesting robots in industries, aviation industry, oil gas industry. So that's how I kind of think that sometimes fuck up happens, but you have to keep moving forward and see how that can be your advantage in the future. I work in industrial automation. In between, I left my job. I'm third-time entrepreneur. So during this period, 24th age, I left my job in 27-year-old, trying to build something like science center, if I can say, in Singapore and India. Worked out all the business plan, discussed with a lot of business school professors. But when I look at the numbers running into like hundreds of millions, I thought maybe too big for me at this age to start experimenting. So I decided to go back to industry again to strengthen my own skills from the business side of it. And I worked in industrial automation, oil and gas industry, delivering multi-million-dollar projects, traveled in the region as far as Russia, China, everywhere. Learned the region, how the business happens, how the relationships are built in the businesses. And then suddenly I shifted my entire industry. I was designing great machines, great technology side of it. I moved into broadcast and media. it happened by chance again because I was moving to program management. As you can imagine, I was understanding the entire end-to-end part of it. So somebody from my old school pulled me into broadcast space that saying, CK, we need you here. So I went into broadcast space with zero experience, and again they trusted me to take a charge for the things which were not working in the organizations, to build the whole program management or operational challenges experience in the organizations. And I think I delivered it, and that's where I worked for almost 7 years. So I'm still working in the space, broadcast space. I do consult, and this is last year in October when I decided to quit my full-time job for a company and started third time as an entrepreneur in IoT space. So IoT if I can give you a bit of idea of IoT, is basically Internet of Things. Most of the techie guys will know about Smart Nation, IoT, all the organizations talk about technologies, but we as a technology guy understand that IoT is not about the technology or platform or sensors. So that's where we started this whole initiative by community first, and I am the largest community in IoT Singapore. So if anybody is interested, I can help to answer some of the questions about the technology side of it. But what I'm trying to show here that you have to keep preparing yourself for the future and learn from the past. There will be things which may not work at that particular time in your interest, but you have to keep moving. And that's what my whole idea of trying to show you that how do we move forward in different kind of phases of the life. So this is my takeaway for you guys, if you like. And how do I approach? Every time I try to learn new things. I always learn new things. When there was a about universe or space science, I keep reading about all those things. But still, you have to build your own value. So what I'm trying to say here is, once you build your own value, you don't have to demand about your value. People will give you your value. So a lot of time people will think that why the organizations are not giving me a value. So, and let's get into the discussion and debate that people will perceive that I'm at this value, but I'm getting this value. So build your value in a way that you don't have to demand at all. And people will come to you. Don't be afraid of doing big things, but at the same time, I would say try small things as well. So like she mentioned, I like to cook. I've been cooking for my mother since like when I was 12 years old. And that's why my interests are. I like to cook for I have been cooking like for maybe 25 years now. And in fact, I tried one entrepreneur journey in the food space as well, which failed actually. Because of some regulatory reasons, I couldn't succeed. So try small things, try experiments like I did a few times. Learn. Keep learning of new things. You have to, the time is too short and things are changing too fast. Keep learning. Be positive, not for anybody else, but for yourself. So this is my takeaway for you guys. And I wanted to show you one quick video if I can.
I'm not sure what the sound looks like.
Okay. But there's a...
Do we have internet on this one?
Is audio?
The audio? Some people already know the message that is about to come.
You already know.
Oh.
The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody is gonna hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. Now, if you know what you're worth, now go out and get what you're worth. But you gotta be willing to take the hits and not pointing fingers saying you ain't where you want to be because of him or her or anybody. Cowards do that, and that ain't you. You're better than that.
So that's my message, that one thing which I very particular about, whether it's about success, whether about failure, is me. I really don't like to point fingers. So this is my takeaway, that if you are getting success, it's because of you. You are being failed is because of you. So accept the fact you are failed, move forward. And you can go as low as you can. There's the limit, but you can go, the sky's the limit. So that's my message.
I meant to say at the beginning, we will have 3 different people share very different stories and their own learnings. Take from that what you would like. See if you can relate to parts of their experience, parts of their feeling, parts of their thinking, parts of their takeaways. Notice the parts that you disagree with or you feel uncomfortable about, and see what it is that is making you uncomfortable or hesitant about certain areas. Okay. With that said, do we have any questions?
Any personal question, a technical question?
This is a personal question, and it's 2 parts. One is that you mentioned just now you cut the figure when you were very young, right? So I'm very curious, what was your parents' response? Was their response that they stop fucking around, just lost the figure, or was it something else? So this is the first question. Second part to that, what would you do if it's your own kid, and what kind of response would you give?
I think it's difficult for me to be parents like my parents. So I think I'm grateful. A lot of people say that I'm a replica of my father. So he is like the coolest guy. Like in a sense, he won't show up. In the fucked up situation, he will be the one who will keep the calm. So, like I said, I took up my finger to him, and he did nothing. I mean, he didn't start shouting on it. He saw the situation. He immediately reacted positively. Okay, this is the first thing we have to address. Fix it up. Whatever you have, literally we have the home sewing machine, and they used it to type. That's why it's a bit of outshot. So that was the reaction. So my parents, thankfully, they have been very positive in whatever situation. Like I said, we have been gone through a lot of difficult times, and I have learned from them how to move forward. But second question, I think it will be difficult for me to behave the same way for my daughter. But in a sense, not to negatively, but I may be more sensitive for her, or that how to take care. For example, like when we were in the village, we used to climb up on the trees and everything. I got so many marks here and there. But I'm more careful right now for my daughter. So it's a bit more like, I think, the generation. But I think I'll still motivate her to as much as she can, and that's what I do over the weekend. That this is my time. I have to take her out, do things out of YouTube, and try to experiment and give her some chance.
Thank you.
Any more questions? Anybody related? Want to ask about IoT or anything?
So you've changed careers and industries or studies a few times. What sorts of feedback did you get from people, or what sorts of thoughts or feelings did you have when you were going through those changes?
Most of them has been always positive, but I kind of set my own goals which I want to be in another 10 years. So I work towards this. So that's the reason I moved out of my broadcast industry, while this is one of very fascinating area of broadcast where you talk about over the top on OTT. A lot of new technologies coming up, but when you talk about the IoT space, that's why I moved out of the broadcast industry, focusing on all things connected. That's my organizations. That in next 20 years down the line, if you can imagine all those sci-fi kind of movies where you have autonomous vehicles. So I was kind of preparing myself for that time, and I may not be able to live until that time, but I'm preparing. If I can say, I imagine my daughter, how she will be in another 20 years. So that's how I keep moving, and so far I've been receiving very good and positive feedback from all my colleagues and friends. Sometimes it's risky because you are kind of betting on some of things which are not realistic yet, but that's how you have to keep moving. So in terms of planning, personal planning, if I can say, you have to plan something for which pays your bills, but the second time you have to keep learning, keep moving forward. That's what I do.
Was your work at the broadcast space anything related to what you did before?
No. Okay, so one of the things which they pulled me in, basically the program management. Because when I delivered those big multi-million-dollar projects for airport industry and oil and gas industry, I did understood the end-to-end perspective of business, from the solution design, the business cycle, the delivery, the managed services, everything. And that's what this organization led into. So I do program management in broadcast industries. I don't code in there, but I understand the entire end-to-end value chain. From just a quick example, right now I'm doing a project which is entire Star Hub migration. In terms of value, is about $30 million. So there's so many dynamics. That's where the top layer comes into program manager, and that's what the organization pulled me in. And
because you said one of the things you advised was to plan and then to learn as much as you can, right? So what if you plan and the plan fails? How do you take it? How should we take it, like based on your experience?
so things doesn't work. For example, I can give the example here, like about 4 years back, Cook It Daily, which I run as a food blog, very popular. I was trying to start a food chain business in Singapore. I used to always question that why nobody else doing it. It's not that I'm the brilliant guy or the only guy in the world can think about it. So I tried it out. I ran all the numbers of NEA, SDVs. So I realized there are some challenges. I worked all the maths, but still there are some regulatory challenges and operation challenges. So it's okay, I learned. So I can give now information to other people who are trying in this space. But I just learned new things. That's why I said I keep moving.
How old are you?
How old are you? That's what my last slide says. I was 35 last year.
Do you, like, when you meet with problems of failure, do you feel that you deal with it differently when you're younger, and how different, like, compared to how you deal with failure?
Did you deal with failure differently when you were younger, and in what way?
Yeah.
Okay. I think when you were younger, you have less.
When I was younger.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So when I was younger, I was kind of has less in the sense of commercial responsibility, if I can say, or the financial responsibilities. So at that point of time, what I should earn obviously was much lower than I used to now. But still, the risk, if I have right now, I'll think a few more times for those things. So like I said, that the business plan which I worked about, those 100 million kind of things, if I discuss right now, I might kick me out. Because so with the time, things will change, and you have to still look around that you settle the priorities first, what you have, so that you keep moving. So like last year I settled my other priorities, so that I can now jump and take risk. But again, when I was young, I think I was not ready to take up those big challenges. That's my personal view. And at this moment of time, still there's so much to learn, but I think I'm kind of ready to go into right now. I hope I answered this question.
Any dying questions? We're going to move on. Yeah? Okay.
Unless I missed you, I just felt that you didn't really have a lot of failure. I felt you were very focusy, just going from different challenges to different challenges.
I can talk it overnight if I have more time. There are a lot of failures. Like I said, okay, maybe I'll give you a quick example. When I graduated back in 2002, and I was going through those campus interviews, I was the guy who got selected in the most interview sections on the written exams and everything, but I didn't get through any of them. There was a reason for it, because I was so silo. I used to be afraid of talking in the panel discussions, because there was one of the topics used to be, okay, you are great in technology, you are great in all exams, but let's have a panel discussion. I was like super quiet. I couldn't speak a word at the time. So I went through from the first round to all the way, most number of companies, but I went through. I didn't get a job in the campus, even being from IIT. So again, I learned. I have knocked the doors of the companies to get a job, but again, it's experience. So those experience, like I said, you can go as low as you can, but that's the limit. But when I moved to Singapore, I changed myself. So a lot of my friends, who are my campus school friends, they say, CK, you are not the CK who you were back in 2002. Never spoke to a girl in 4 years, but I have the love marriage. So this is the kind of change you learn and you pursue. So there are a lot of failures, but you just learn how to change it.
It's like normal to a lot of men.
It's just a perception. That's why I said you have to be positive.
What do you think
for
makes
yourself.
these failures difficult for you?
Sorry?
If you can, I don't know if you can answer that quickly, but what made those failures difficult for you personally?
difficult for me personally because when you come from middle class family, in India everybody's trying to be engineer, right? To earn something first, forget about what you want to do in life. So obviously that kind of social challenges you have. But again, thanks to my parents that they said, CK, my nickname, go and do what you want to do. But still they had this bit of fear, what will happen to him, and things doesn't work out. So there was always a bit of pressure you have personally, that if things doesn't work, what will people think about? So after some point of time, I realized that forget about everyone. I'm just going to do for these number of people. My parents, my wife and kids, forget about everybody else. These are the people who will drive me, whether it's good or bad. I have to think about those first, forget about everything else. So these are the things how I do follow.
Okay, so it sounds like to me what makes it difficult for you is that people who love you and care about you are invested in what happens to you, and so when something bad happens a little bit, it's really crushing for you because of them.
You're right.
Something like that. Okay. Good. Thank you very much. Please give a round of applause.